Well, a family camping trip in remote Idaho turns into something really out of a horror movie when a 2-year-old vanishes from the campground. The disturbing case is profiled in an all-new episode of HLN's hit original series, Real Life Nightmare.
This is DeOrr, Idaho.
Middle of summer, and a 2-year-old suddenly vanishes.
What's the address of your emergency?
I'm actually camping.
How long has he been missing?
About an hour.
Baby boy DeOrr was missing. Where'd he go?
We're dealing with 4 million acres of rugged terrain.
4 people on top of a mountain. You had a mother.
My son is missing. Have you seen him?
You had a father.
Not a single trace of him.
You had a grandfather.
He's gone.
And then you had Isaac.
Did something horrible happen?
Somebody just tell us the truth.
Truth comes out eventually.
The answer is up there somewhere. The answer is definitely up there somewhere.
And let's bring in someone who's followed this case from the beginning. He's featured in the episode as well. Nate Eaton, news director, reporter, East Idaho News. Nate, good to see you. So again, you've been following this since day one. Tell us more about the disappearance.
Yeah, well, this is a family that went on a weekend camping trip. Here in Idaho, we love to go camping in the summertime. It was early July. Little boy goes with his parents and great-grandpa and a friend of great-grandpa, and they head up into the mountains, and he never comes back. Nobody knows where he went. Well, somebody may know, but to this point, the public doesn't know. And he vanished. This was over 4.5 years ago, and to this day, still no answers.
Wow. I know in this episode, there's brand new footage. And as we were working on this special, those at the campsite speaking out for the first time in a while. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, this was pretty interesting. So the parents went on and did a couple of television shows when DeOrr first disappeared, and then some private investigators actually came and did their own investigation into this case, 2 or 3 of them actually. And one of the private investigators was able to sit down with the key players who were there at that camping trip. They were able to interview them on camera, and during this show, which I've seen, there's a lot of new information really that comes out of these interviews that the public will get to see tomorrow night when this show goes to air.
As you've covered this, I mean, this is a story and really a show as we watch this coming up. Many twists and turns. What stands out to you?
Yeah, so many twists and turns. I mean, who would expect that a toddler would vanish on a camping trip? And this is a very remote area. You can't get cell phone signals up there. You're far away from any busy road, miles and miles away from any sort of business. So the kid disappears, and then there's all sorts of theories. You know, did a wild animal take him? Did he get abducted? Was there some sort of accident? Was there some sort of intentional act? All of these theories, all of these possibilities addressed in the show tomorrow, along with what law enforcement are saying up to this point.
Are people in the area staying in the know? If they see you, do they still ask you about this one?
I would say this is the most talked about story over the past 4 years. Still, weekly at least, someone saying, what's the latest with baby DeOrr? Are they going to be able to break this case? A lot of people just want answers, and hopefully one of the purposes for speaking out on this show and doing this show is that it will get the word out there so people can see this adorable little boy who should be 7 years old right now.
Wow, that puts it in perspective. Nate Eaton, good to talk to you. Thanks again. And don't miss it, all new episode of Real Life Nightmare, Horror at the Campground. It premieres tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right here on HLN.